This is John here, and today bringing you sort of a random video. Talk about a couple of things. One being the Meg, which I'll share my thoughts on. I saw that this past weekend, so you'll get my review on that. A couple of news bits that I'll mention and share my thoughts on to sort of catch up a little bit. Now, originally, I was going to start on my collection videos today, but the more I looked at my collection, I noticed that it's very scattered. Like, I'll have 2 or 3 Halloween films here, and the rest of them are over here all mixed up. So I'm trying to get that straightened out, somewhat organized for new collection videos. So I'm going to push those to this weekend to get a start on that. And if I had to guess here, it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 parts. So it's definitely going to be a lot of parts. I mean, that's every DVD and Blu-ray and TV show. And those, I definitely want to, get those uploaded before Labor Day weekend because I'll be out of town. So between now and Labor Day weekend, I want to make sure that I get all of the new collection videos up. So you can look forward to that. But today I just wanted to sort of take it easy, to sort of get back into it and, talk about a couple of things. Now, getting back to the Meg, like I said, I did see that this past weekend, and I liked it. I mean, I know that a lot of people out there felt that it was underwhelming, that not much happened, or they felt disappointed, or maybe they felt it was somewhat tamed because of the PG-13 rating. But I still liked it. I mean, I know right now it currently stands at a 6.2 on IMDb, and I have a feeling that it's just going to get lowered. But as far as what I liked about the film, I mean, you have a good cast. You have Jason Statham, who was fine to me. I liked him as the lead, the protagonist. I thought he did a fine job. Cliff Curtis, you've seen this guy before. He was the bad guy in Collateral Damage. He was in Live Free, Die Hard with Bruce Willis. And other things. I mean, you have Ruby Rose, who I understand she's playing Batwoman for a TV series. And she was also the villain in John Wick Chapter 2. She was the deaf villain. And I think she's also in the Orange is the New Black series. But she was fine to me. And you have Rainn Wilson. I forgot him. Yeah, he was in the film. He plays this billionaire character, which, if you can guess here, he gets killed. And he kind of saw that coming, but, he was fine to me as well. Now, it was directed by John Turteltaub, who, in the past, he directed films like Cool Runnings, which I enjoyed that film. Phenomenon with John Travolta, Three Ninjas. He also directed the 2 National Treasure films. Those I haven't seen in a long time, but I remember liking those. I just haven't seen them in a while. John Turteltaub, he's a good director. I mean, it depends on the film. I like Cool Runnings. I haven't seen Three Ninjas, but I do like National Treasure 1 and 2. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, he directed that, and I haven't seen that in a while. I remember liking it, but it's just been a while since I've seen it. I need a refresh on that one. But the Meg, to sort of go over the plot, I have the IMDb page here. After escaping an attack by what he claims was a 70-foot shark, Jonas Taylor, played by Statham, confront his fears to save those trapped in a sunken submersible. So, yeah, I mean, the film, you got in the beginning, this submersible that they're trying to go below the deepest part of the ocean, and they get stuck. And I liked how they don't show the shark yet. They sort of build up a little bit, sort of give you, where everything's dark and you can't really see anything, and they get stuck at the bottom. And Jason Statham's character has to sort of go in there. And now the film opens up with sort of past events where Jason Statham had to make a sacrifice, and he had to responsible for leaving people behind, and so he has a sort of past. But you know, move on to later, he has to rescue these people that are stuck at the very bottom, and there unleashes the megalodon. And the film is more of a, I thought about it, it's more of an adventure thriller, like sort of a cat and mouse kind of shark movie. If you're going in expecting a lot of carnage, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get like piranha type gore, which, you know, piranha. I mean, to me the good thing about that was the gore. You're not going to get that here. You're not going to get a lot of carnage, which maybe I can understand that aspect of it is disappointing because you have a 70-foot shark and there's not a lot of carnage. You do have some kills, you do have some blood, but it's not like piranha type or piranha-esque. It's not rated R. It's PG-13. But for an adventure thriller, I think to me there were some good thrills in there. I mean, like I said, you do have a good cast. You got some cool moments with the shark, where more so in the second act, where they're on this boat and they're trying to capture the shark, and you got Statham swimming out there in the middle of the ocean, with a rope. So it kind of gives you that feeling that you can't really see anything, you can't really see the bottom. It's the waters are dark, but there were some parts that worked for me. I mean, and then more so towards the end, you get this whole beach scene because the film takes place in China. So the shark, attacks a beach, and there you get a couple of nods to Jaws, where it's not Americans, it's more Asians. So you got this little fat kid with a popsicle, he's asking his mom to, if he could swim in the ocean. Definitely a throwback to Jaws. You got a dog named Pippin. So there you have a little nod to Jaws. And, there were some cool moments towards the end at the beach. And there wasn't a lot of body count there. So maybe I can understand, that part of it was disappointing. Again, talking about that, there wasn't much of a body count or carnage. When he attacks the beach, you see some kills, but it's not, like R-rated. There's this one scene that I thought was cool, where this guy was in this sort of like a plastic bubble, and he was rolling on the ocean, and then the megalodon sort of bites on the bubble and pops. I thought it was funny. So there's some fun moments, and you get this sort of scene where the shark, I don't know what you call these things, sort of platforms on the ocean where these people sit on and drink, have drinks on. Well, there's a scene where the shark is dragging these things with his fins, and you see people being pulled, and you get a good scale of how big the shark is, and like I said, I mean, I didn't mind it. I mean, compared to other shark films out there, I mean, Jaws is definitely the king. You can't beat Jaws. I felt that Jaws 2 was better. Yes, to me, I prefer Deep Blue Sea more over this. Where, I thought about this too, because when you look at Deep Blue Sea, I think it has a little bit more going for that. Being R-rated, there was more, more carnage there. More people were killed off, which you don't really get that in the Meg. And I know I'm probably spoiling the film a little bit, but as far as the main cast, you have maybe 2 or 3 self-sacrifices, but you don't have a whole lot of victims. There's not a lot of victims there. Most of the cast, they live. So you don't get a whole lot of, again, body count. But Deep Blue Sea, I think that's where Deep Blue Sea, where I prefer that more. It's R-rated. The Shallows, which I did like. I like that film. I would say this is more of a tie for me with The Shallows. 47 Meters Down, I like as well, and I have that on Blu-ray. So there's been some good recent shark films too, but I'm not going to really go into like Sci-Fi Channel's list or the Sharknado films. And I know there's some people out there that like those films, but I'm not counting those. Come on, people. uh, but there's, I mean, I guess when you talk about theatrical or sort of the bigger shark films, there's been some good recent ones. Deep Blue Sea, which I know is almost 20 years old, but that's still a good one. Um, like I said, I prefer Deep Blue Sea more than this. The Shallows I enjoyed, I liked. 47 Meters Down, I liked. Um, so if I had to rank this somewhere, if I had to rank the Meg, I would say it's more to me with the Shallows. Um, so, but again, Jaws is, you know, the pinnacle. Jaws 2 is a great sequel. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what more I can say. Uh, it wouldn't be for me like a top. Would it be? Well, the thing is, I haven't really seen a lot this year. And that's more my fault. I really haven't seen a whole lot. I haven't seen the latest Mission Impossible film, so I'm sure someone's going to comment down below. Have you seen Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible 6? I haven't. I haven't really, to be honest, I really haven't caught up with those films because I still haven't seen 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I still have to catch up. But I haven't really seen a lot this year. I mean, Infinity War, I like the film, but I think there's other films out there that would make more of in my top 10, but I haven't really seen enough this year. So it's hard to place the Meg. To me, I like the film. To me, it was a good sort of adventure thriller. Um, it's not perfect by any means. I mean, and yes, I prefer other shark films out there, but for what it was, I didn't mind it. Yes, I would like to have seen what this could have been if it was rated R. Definitely. I would like to have seen, and hopefully maybe they'll put out an R cut, like an R-rated version, because I definitely would like to have seen, what they could have done with that. Add in more carnage. Throw in more body count, more blood. And I could probably understand why people don't like this film or felt that, not much happened. There's not much carnage there. Um, Nothing was accomplished. I can probably get that. I can understand some of the complaints out there. So for those who don't like it or whatever, I mean, I can understand. Um, but I liked it. I still enjoyed the film. Um, so I mean, I recommend it. I mean, go check out the Meg. I mean, it's again, it's hard to give a top 10 of this year, but so it's kind of hard to place the Meg. But I still liked it. So yeah, I mean, would I buy it on DVD or Blu-ray? Maybe. You know, um, I mean, what's coming out soon that's interesting? I mean, because I'm thinking about what's ahead. I mean, what Venom, and there was something else that was coming out soon. Something before Venom. I'm trying to think what it was. Predator, the Predator, which I don't want to see. If I had to pick between the two, I'd rather watch Venom than the Predator. I got a feeling the Predator is going to be one of those, it's just going to be like a Band-Aid. Sometimes you just got to take it off and fucking get it over with or see it for real cheap. Like around here, we have $5 Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, you can see movies for $5. So, and that I haven't really done enough of. And I'm surprised at myself for not doing that enough. Because on a regular day, you're paying $10 for a ticket, for one movie. Where on Tuesdays, you can see two movies for the same price. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit more. But, it's almost fall, so you're not going to get a whole lot of, big movies coming out. And I don't really look forward to The Predator. I don't look forward to Venom. So I don't know how much of movie going I'll be doing. because I have plenty here to watch. I have plenty here that I still haven't seen to catch up on. So, yeah, but that's my thoughts on the Meg. A couple of news bits talk about Rambo 5, which I'm trying to click on the tab. There you go. Which apparently is happening. Rambo 5. Stallone is going to be filming next month. And this is according to PursueNews.com. I'll put a link in the description box. It says, there's finally some good news for Stallone fans. The fan-favorite actor's got fans hyped after his recent post on Instagram. It looks like the actor is hinting at his return as the troubled Vietnam veteran in Rambo 5. The 72-year-old Stallone took to Instagram to share a photo of himself as John Rambo, the fan-favorite iconic character. He writes, "A Savage Rising soon." Let's see what else it says. The whispers of a fifth Rambo film have been floating around for quite some time now. In fact, back in May, Screen Daily reported that production on Rambo 5 is scheduled to begin on September 1st. The report added that filming would take place in London, Bulgaria, and the Canary Islands. Notably, the use of the word savage in the caption hints the upcoming movie will likely be brutal, full of blood and gore. The caption is also a possible reference to the film's long-standing rumored title, Rambo 5, The Savage Hunt. Rambo 5 will reportedly see Rambo move out of the Southeast Asia to take on a Mexican cartel as he goes on a quest to find his friend's kidnapped daughter. So, Rambo 5 has no release date, but I heard sometime next year, like November. I don't know when. But, Stallone, what are you doing? Rambo 4 went full circle and ended it fine. Rambo 4 ended on a high note. Why do you need Rambo 5? Why do you need Rambo 5? Especially coming off a not so good track record. Escape Plan 2 I've heard bad things about. Escape Plan 3, we can just guess what that's going to be like. Well, it hasn't, it's not out yet. But let's take it, we can take a good guess. Escape Plan 2, I've heard a lot of bad things about. Creed 2, I honestly don't look forward to. It's just Stallone, what are you doing? Why do Rambo 5 when Rambo 4 ended it well? The franchise ended well on Rambo 4. It went full circle. It was a great film. Saw it in theaters when it came out back in January 2008, which it's been 10 years already. That's crazy. And I enjoyed it. It was a very exciting experience. And Rambo went home. But I don't get why you're doing another Rambo film when I had this sinking feeling that you're going to kill off Rambo. Because here's what I'm afraid of, people, and here's the inevitable in regards to the Creed films and another Rambo film, is that one of these characters is going to fucking die. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Rocky die, and I don't want to see Rambo die. That's the thing I'm afraid of the most, and that's the thing that I don't want to see happen because it's going to piss me off. Oh, they're not going to kill off Rocky to the third Creed film. I still don't want to see it. I still don't want to see this happen. I don't want to see Rambo die in a self-sacrifice. We already got Rambo 5. It's called Bloodfather with Mel Gibson. Sort of the same plot. He goes after his daughter. His daughter was kidnapped by sort of a Mexican, sort of a cartel. And he has to go and save her. And he kicks ass along the way. And he dies at the end. I'm sorry if I spoiled it, but it's the same thing. It's like Stallone is taken from Bloodfather with Mel Gibson and Logan. because there were some parts where it took place in the desert, I guess. What's up with that sort of motif lately, where sort of the lone protagonist who has to go through the desert and then, in the end he dies. I don't know, did Stallone see Logan and think, or Bloodfather with Mel Gibson? And I know they've been talking about this plot for a while, but it's not that interesting. Rambo going to Mexico. Rambo taking on a Mexican cartel. It's not that interesting. It doesn't make for an interesting Rambo film. I mean, why do that? Is it something to do with the wall? Is it something to do with the border? I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. Personally, if you're going to do another Rambo film, take that idea that you had before about the sci-fi aspect, about taking on a creature, the hunter story. I'd much rather have that. But no, what I have a feeling is he's going to do Rambo 5, and in the end, Rambo's going to die. And it's going to piss me off. Because I see no other way. Do you really think that, after the last one, Rambo 5, which, he walked off, he's back home, do you really think he's going to walk back home after this? Why do I have a feeling that it's going to fucking piss me off? Rambo 5 is not needed, Stallone. Almost called you Sly. But Rambo 5 is not needed. Rambo 4 was a great sequel. It ended well. It ended on a high note. That was your swan song. Rambo 5, I don't know why he's doing this. Same thing with Expendables 4. How many times is it going to talk about that? And I know there hasn't really been anything new there, but, I think Stallone wants to do it, and he wants to sort of rectify his mistakes of the second and third one. But it's too late for that. It's too late for Expendables 4. I love you, Stallone. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a big fan of your work. A lot of your work. But in the past 7 years, let's see, 7 years, 2011, let's say 5-6 years, it's been a lot of disappointing. It's been a lot of bad choices, bad decisions, bad sequels from what I hear with Escape Plan 2 and 3, which still hasn't been out, but I can take a guess. Now, Creed, which I know he got a lot of, notices with that, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Creed. And now you're doing Rambo 5. For what reason? To Rambo to go out the way, I don't know why. I mean, again, it's not even the most interesting plot. If anything, go back to, the town in the first film. Maybe you could have like one final scene between him and Brian Dennehy's character, Teasel. Do something like that. I mean, or just... It just doesn't... This plot doesn't work. So I have no interest in Rambo 5. That's just my opinion. But moving on to this new RoboCop film. If I can... The computer's being a little slow, but... this is actually from yesterday. It was announced last month that RoboCop Returns, which will serve as a sequel to the original, is to be directed by Neil Blomkamp. Known best for his work on movies like District 9 and Chappie. The script comes directly from the franchise creators, Ed Newmar, hope I said that right, and Michael Miner, is currently being rewritten by Justin Rhodes. This is going to be a true sequel and not a reboot, at least not in the traditional sense. As such, it would make quite a bit of sense to bring Peter Weller back. Neil Blomkamp seems to agree with that statement. Recently, I guess some guy on Twitter had just rewatched the original RoboCop, was pondering the cast for the new movie on Twitter, saying, I can't wait to see the new Blomkamp film twist. Who should play RoboCop, though? And Neil Blomkamp responded with Peter Weller. And then it starts, the article goes into, should Peter Weller, play the part of RoboCop in RoboCop Returns? Should he come back to that character? And no one knows for sure. This is sort of like something that was mentioned on Twitter, and it's sort of going around in the news a little bit. But, should Peter Weller return? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, the guy's, in the 70s? Maybe it would make sense. I mean, RoboCop, can't really move all that fast, but go, I mean, if you're going to do it, then bring back Peter Weller. Bring back Peter Weller, because it'd be a hell lot better than Joe Kinnaman. And I don't get me started on that remake. But RoboCop Returns, right now I'm just indifferent about it. I mean, the RoboCop remake pissed me off, and, and where's that director? Jose Padilla. Where's that director? And if you hear something, it's storming. It's storming. Even God hates the RoboCop remake. But if you're gonna do it, then bring back Peter Weller, because he was the best. He is the original. He is the RoboCop. He's the real Alex Murphy, not Joe Kinnaman. He's a wannabe Alex Murphy. He doesn't go back to the killing. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just sort of indifferent about this new RoboCop film, because, it's a sequel, but it's not a true sequel. So which is it? Why I have a feeling that it's going to disregard RoboCop 2, which I like. RoboCop 3, it's a piece of crap. I can understand disregarding that. If anything, start from part 2, because even still, you have Peter Weller in RoboCop 2. That makes sense. Start from that one. Don't just disregard the sequels. All you're doing is just, you're taking note from the new Halloween film. Oh, we're going to disregard all the sequels. I'm tired of that. Why are people doing that? Why do that? Why is it so cool now to disregard everything that happened in the past? Oh, we're just going to only pay attention to the original film because that's the one that matters. Halloween 2 is a good fucking sequel. Why did you have to disregard Halloween 2? Talking about the new Halloween film. You could have just started from Halloween 2. And I would have been okay with that probably. I probably would have been okay. I understand. But just going to throw everything away? And same thing with this new RoboCop movie. Yeah, I mean, I have more trust in a Neil Blomkamp than I do a Jose Padilla, or wherever the hell his name was. I think he's a more capable director. And his love for RoboCop, I can see his love for RoboCop, the character, the original film. But how's this going to work? How is this going to work? Peter Weller, yeah, I say, bring him back if you're going to do it. But, I'm just afraid that they're not going to, because Peter Weller is already in the 70s. What, they're just going to have him do like a glorified cameo? I don't want to see that. That's why I'm just iffy about this whole, Patrick Stewart being back for a new Star Trek series. They saying that, oh, he's going to lead a new series, but how do you know that he's not going to be wasted? Yeah, Patrick Stewart's happy to be back, and it's cool to see him back in that role. But why do I have this sinking feeling that, they're going to, it's going to be a lot of bad writing and so on and so forth. But I know I'm talking about RoboCop. But yeah, I'm just indifferent about this. I mean, do I trust a Neil Blomkamp more? Sure. Yes. But, to disregard, RoboCop 2, to me is kind of bull. Uh, if tomorrow they said, okay, we're bringing Peter Weller back, then you have my attention. You have my attention. But for now, I'm just indifferent. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I mean, like I said, it's storming outside, so the probably, you probably noticed the lighting changed a little bit. But anyways, that's pretty much it for now. Just doing this sort of video, random vlog. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.